Time for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news on 95.1 FM, weather always comes first. A low-pressure system in the Gulf of Mexico is expected to bring heavy rainfall and severe thunderstorms to northern and central Florida and minor coastal flooding across parts of the Gulf Coast. A strong storm system will produce areas of high-elevation snow in the Rockies. Severe thunderstorms, excessive rainfall, and high winds will come to the Central Plains, and critical fire weather returns to the Southern Plains. Close at home, breezy to windy conditions persist through tomorrow evening. Otherwise, no hazardous weather is expected. We'll have another look at the weather following this news. A downed tree into a power line sparked the devastating McBride fire last spring, burning through homes and acres of Ruidoso. Now PNM is getting sued for it, with the village government claiming negligence led to that fire. Investigators determined a wind-blown tree hit a PNM power line, sparking the fast-moving blaze that eventually destroyed 207 buildings and over 6,000 acres. Attorney Brian Colon and Singleton Schreiber of New Mexico are now suing PNM, in part claiming the company failed to maintain vegetation by their power lines, and that led to the fire.
We find these wildfires to be more and more frequent, and our job is to hold those folks accountable who create or fail to manage the fires properly.
Colon speaking with KRQE. Ruidoso is asking for money for damages, but attorneys said a total dollar figure has not yet been calculated. Otero County Commission meeting is happening this morning at 9 a.m. This is going to include Abigail Plecki with the New Mexico Forestry Division, discussing the available funding through the Community Wildlife Defense Grant. Request the Board of County Commissioners to select and prioritize their capital outlay projects for submission to the New Mexico Legislature. Request approval to support the National Center for Public Lands in the amount of $96,000. Request approval of a grant agreement between Otero County and the Department of Finance for hiring and supporting law enforcement positions. That's going to run around $650,000. We plan on bringing you some audio from this meeting on tomorrow's edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. The Alamogordo Public Library is offering a class on beginner container gardening. That's happening this Saturday, October 14th, from 11:30 till 1:30. It'll be facilitated by Many Hands Alamogordo. The cost of this program is free. If you have any questions, contact the library. This Saturday, Love Inc. will be hosting a class at First Baptist Church in Tularosa on redemptive compassion. Susan Payne spoke with Crazy Radio.
If you work in an area that does outreach for people or helps people, you're not going to want to miss this class. Or if you're just curious, if you're just somebody who doesn't really know what the right way or what the best way to help somebody is, then this class is for you. It starts at 9 o'clock. It's at First Baptist Church in Tularosa.
For more information, please call 575-439-4812. This Saturday is the annular or Ring of Fire eclipse. Sunspot Observatory has the perfect spot to see the action.
We'll have solar telescopes set up out there with it's an H alpha telescope, and sun spotters will be set up for people to look through. Then our telescope that's still actively used, the Dunn Solar Telescope, that will be open to the public.
The event opens at 8 and the eclipse happens shortly after 9. The event is free. Call 575-434-7190 for details. The Alamogordo Tiger Marching Band will host their first ever marchathon this Saturday, October 14th. The parade will begin at 10 a.m. at the corner of Desert Lakes Golf Course and Hamilton Street. The jogathon-style parade will continue down Tres Lagos Street and through Eagle Drive. After marching through Eagle Drive, the Alamogordo Tiger Marching Band will continue through Birdie Loop and back on Desert Lakes Road. The event is expected to last until 2 p.m. Keep Alamogordo Beautiful is looking for youth groups. Read that, groups catering to individuals under 21 in order to assist with the Keep Alamogordo Beautiful Youth Group Partnership. We spoke with Executive Director Sven Sears.
Keep Alamogordo Beautiful received a grant this year that provides funding to be able to help out youth group around Alamogordo to complete different projects for Alamogordo, like whether it's beautification projects, planting trees, flowers, painting, graffiti removal. Any youth group that wants to get involved, there's an opportunity at getting some funding.
Through this partnership, groups can earn up to $300 per event simply by participating in beautification projects around the city. For more information, check out keepalamogordobeautiful.org or contact the office at 575-439-4250. Coming up on the last Saturday of October, Grace Methodist Church will have Family Day at the Patch. We spoke with Shelley.
We'll have lots of pumpkins, lots of games. We're going to have a whole lot of kind of little downscale carnival games going on. All free of charge, except, of course, what you buy from the craft vendors or from the food truck.
That's at 1206 Greenwood Lane in Alamo. Call 575-437-7640 if you have any questions. Well, time now for an inspirational moment from our good friend, Pastor Lauren Noble.
Good morning, 95.1 listeners. This is Pastor Lauren with a moment of inspiration. This morning I was talking to one of the women from the university volleyball team, and she was saying they are having some discouragement issues after coming off of 2 losses. So I told her, well, once discouragement gets into your brain and doubt gets into your brain, you now have 2 opponents to deal with, the one on the court and the one going on in your brain, and you really need to just focus on the one opponent on the court. That's the easiest one to deal with. And I know sometimes it's easier for all of us to slip into discouragement or doubt, and then we have 2 problems to deal with, the real problem that we need to deal with, and the one in our mind that is running rampant and oftentimes I think just adds to the original problem in the first place. And so it's just good to try to keep our focus on the real problem and deal with it instead of letting it get into our brain and having 2 problems to deal with. Let me say a prayer for us. Lord, I do pray that we will keep our focus on the real problem, because once it gets into our brain, that's oftentimes what we have. It runs around in there and then we end up with 2 problems to deal with. And I pray that all of us will be better at that, myself included, because sometimes I get that same way to where I get caught up running it through my brain, and now I have 2 problems instead of only 1. Amen. Until we meet up again on the airwaves, blessings to you.
News from around the state in just a moment. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
AlamogordoTownNews.com is a locally owned website featuring local news matters from a local perspective that affects you, and we bring it to you directly. Plus, local sports, cultural arts, and events. Online, AlamogordoTownNews.com. Owned and operated by Second Life Media. We are Otero County.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a full book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything.
Look on the plus side, Directory Plus.
I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
A federal judge cleared the way yesterday for enforcement of a public health order which suspends the right to carry guns at public parks and playgrounds in the Albuquerque metro. The order from U.S. District Judge David Orias rejects a request from gun rights activists to block temporary firearm restrictions as legal challenges move forward. This marks a victory for Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham and her advocacy for temporary gun restrictions.
Multiple arrests is important because it also helps us break into criminal networks. A lot of felons that have gone on the loose for a while. I told people we're coming, and now we're a force multiplier.
John Allen, the Bernalillo County Sheriff, speaking with KOAT.
Continued collaboration is a key to fighting crime no matter where you're at, but it makes me really happy and proud here in Bernalillo County to show 3 agencies working together to make a difference for their community, to really put a dent in crime and send a message.
The legal standoff is one of many in the wake of the U.S. Supreme Court decision last year expanding gun rights as leaders in politically liberal-leaning states explore new avenues for gun restrictions. Healthcare leaders in New Mexico are again asking the federal government for assistance. Officials say they are facing a crisis and the problems are not getting any better. There are not enough workers, especially nurses, so they're asking help from Congress. At an event yesterday, Senator Ben Ray Lujan and officials representing hospital systems and the New Mexico Nurses Association met to discuss expanding the healthcare workforce. They say New Mexico needs more than 5,000 nurses to meet national standards. On top of that, they want to help increase pay and boost efforts to keep workers from quitting. That includes workplace safety.
Congress can do anything, I've learned, as long as there's a willingness to get it done. In this particular space with the workforce, I have seen a willingness bipartisanly to work to increase nurses' pay, primary care physician pay.
Senator Lujan says his committee in Congress has already passed some tuition help and he will continue to push for bills on the specifics that were mentioned. Police officers who work the streets in Las Cruces say fentanyl pills are popping up all over the city, leading to addiction issues and a rise in crime. In 2019, about 3,300 fentanyl pills were seized in Donna Ana County. In 2021, that number jumped up to 22,646. But so far in 2023, there have been over 50,000 pills seized.
A lot of the people that we deal with on the street are addicted and are using these fentanyl pills. Some as few as 1 or 2 every couple of days, and sometimes we run into people that are using as many as 30 in a single day.
Officer Benjamin Burling speaking with KVIA.
Typically we're looking at about $5 per pill, so then you run into somebody spending up to $150, $200 a day just to feed that habit, which, like he said, is a huge driver for the property crime here in the Las Cruces area, for auto thefts, auto burglaries, residential burglaries, larcenies, shopliftings. All those things are in conjunction with the fentanyl epidemic.
The Las Cruces website shows that while violent crime is down in the city by 36%, non-residential burglaries are up 68%, auto burglaries up 8%, total property crime up 2%. Police believe much of it has to do with fentanyl, calling it a complicated issue that they are working on with many partners in the community to best figure how to address it. One of the ways they are looking at is through the Opioid Settlement Fund. Donna Ana County says they plan on using that money themselves to help people battling addiction. The Cibola Trail Alliance is a nonprofit organization focused on developing and maintaining multi-use trails in the Mount Taylor Ranger District of the Cibola National Forest. Unfortunately, the CTA and their donors learned that a mini excavator that they purchased for trail building this past summer was a stolen piece of equipment. The CTA's board worked tirelessly to raise money to purchase that small trail building machine to help them complete 19 miles of a multi-use single-track trail that they've been working on for over 2 years. The CTA hosted several fundraisers to help them obtain the funds to buy that machine. This summer, they found the machine that they could afford. They went to purchase it for just over $12,000. But on October 10th, the CTA was contacted by the New Mexico State Police and found out that the purchased machine was stolen prior to being sold to the CTA. The Cibola Trail Alliance is now trying to raise money to purchase another mini excavator. They have set up a GoFundMe page. And finally, the Santa Fe Police Department said they responded to a call about a suspicious package in southwest Santa Fe yesterday just after 11 a.m. The department says the caller reported a suspicious character throwing away what he believed to be a grenade. The department's explosive ordnance disposal team determined the item wasn't a threat at all. Instead, it was a potato chip bag. Sports and weather are next. You're listening to Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
They are role models and educators. Their work requires a great deal of time and energy for very little pay. Who are these unsung heroes?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
The simple truth about education-based athletics in New Mexico is this. Without a committed team of coaches and administrators, they just wouldn't be possible. School sports, they bring out the best in all of us. This message presented by the New Mexico Activities Association and the New Mexico Athletic Directors Association.
There are 45 matches for New Mexico volleyball today, including Hondo at Elida, Loving at Jowl, Dexter at Mescalero, Silver at Hot Springs. Tularosa heads to Hagerman. Wow. Go, Lady Cats! There are 8 games for New Mexico football today, including Lordsburg at Magdalena and Goddard at Mayfield. Your Crazy Radio spot on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for sunny skies, winds gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight, winds gusting as high as 28. Sunny skies tomorrow. Your high today in the basin, 81, low tonight of 50, high tomorrow, 75 degrees. In Cloudcroft, sunny skies and windy with wind gusts as high as 48 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight with wind gusts as high as 39, sunny tomorrow. Your high today for Cloudcroft, 58. Low tonight of 34, high tomorrow, 56 degrees. Local breaking news can be found on our website, alamogordotownnews.com, and learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting kalhradio.org. We've also launched the Crazy KALH Radio YouTube channel, which features our daily newscasts, complete interviews, and other information which concerns everyone in the Tularosa Basin. That concludes today's edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.